There on the focus edition, what is the structure of the exam, syllabus which is tested on the focus edition, what is the scoring all about, how does GMAT score, what's the adaptive nature of the test, intro to DI section, that is what are the type of the questions under the DI section, important strategies will be solving the questions with respect to the strategies, preparation plan, how does we see the preparation to be, what are the broad steps which you should be taking for your preparation for the GMAT. Consider these as your steps or month if you have times time for Q&A. If you have any question which is related to the point which we are discussing, you may unmute at that point of time or type in the chat box. If there are generic questions related to your GMAT preparation, you can ask at the end of the session by either writing or unmuting yours. Okay, now starting with the structure, let's understand what exactly is the structure all about. Data insight, that's the section which has the various type of the question, 5 types. That is data sufficiency, multi-source reasoning, table analysis, graphic interpretation, two-part analysis. 20 questions in this section with 45 minutes given for section. Now this section assesses you on your understanding interpretation of the graphic interpretation with respect to quant and verbal skills will be required here. Quant problem solving type of the questions, which are 21. One question with 5 options that are problem solving type of the questions. 45 minutes given here. Verbal assesses you on your reading skills as well as your reasoning skills. 23 questions here given 45 minutes. Again, the duration for the exam comes out to be 2 hours and 15 minutes, excluding one break. So you have a break of 10 more minutes. So when you include that 10 minutes break, it will be 2 hours and 25 minutes for the exam plus, okay, which will be there at the test center for. Now let's understand the next part here, which is our order of the sections, right? We understood that there are 3 sections. One is quant, verbal, data insight. Now these 3 sections can be ordered in any which ways according to your preference. If you are comfortable with quant or verbal, right, or data insight, you have the option or the opportunity to select that particular sequence which suits you best. Okay, a lot of times uh, you start with the option which is most your strength part to get the confidence, or sometimes it is that you start with the hardest section, maybe hardest for me might be a verbal, so that I have a lot of energy, so that can be used at the beginning and during. If verbal, if font is my weaker, is my strength, so I'll place that at the end. So I have all the options related to my particular strength and weaker areas, and I can attempt that exam, that's the GMAT exam, in that particular order which I have opted. Now the next part, that is the exam is adaptive. Now what does adaptive mean? We know that it adapts to the test taker's performance. So everyone starts with a very, very medium level of the question. First question, that is either of a easy or the medium. Now, if I get this question correct, second question, difficulty level increases, my score increases. Similarly, if I do not get this question correct, second question, difficulty level reduces, my score reduces. Okay, so this is how the next question, third question, is dependent on the accuracy of the current question. Second question correct, third question, difficulty level increases, second not correct, the difficulty level reduces. This is how test every time with respect to question adapts to the test taker performance. points. Yes, you need to be very, very clear about the accuracy of each and every. If you are targeting a very high score, the accuracy for the first few questions are going to be quite critical. Why? Because if you get these all the questions correct, your overall difficulty level of the exam increases, your chances of getting a higher score increases. Okay? If you do not get these questions correct, right, which others are getting it correct, the difficulty level reduces, your chances of getting higher score reduces. So the first set of the questions, first quarter of the question for each section is quite important if you are targeting a very high score. Now let's understand this one. The next part with us is going to be the score. How does GMAT score? You must have understood that we have three sections, that is quant, verbal, data, insight. 20 questions here, 23 here, 21 here, 20 here, 20 here. So that is the distribution of all the questions. And each section you get a score from 60 to 90. Quant 60 to 90, verbal 60 to 90. Similarly, DI 60 being the minimum. Everything incorrect, that's least. Everything correct, highest. Okay, so that's what sectional scores would be given to you. Overall, it starts with a 205 and it goes up to 805 with an increment of 10 points. 205 to 15 to 25 and so on and so forth till 805. That is how the overall score. A good score, which is considered to be good score for a lot of universities, good score. That is 645 plus, which is 90th percentile, which is equivalent to a 700 plus on the classic edition. Previous one was classic. Now 700, which was earlier, is now equivalent to a 645 plus on the focus. Whenever you prepare, start preparing, or you have to start the preparation, succeed it. If that are you were targeting initially this score, now the equivalent score for the focus edition is 645 plus, which is again 90th or 89th percent. Now the topics, we understood that what is the adaptive nature of the test, what are the sections which are there, how does the scoring algorithm works, what is the scoring all about, right? What are the sectional scores, what is the overall score? It's a good score. Now, what are the topics which are tested on the focus edition? That is starting with numbers, odd even numbers, prime numbers, factors, multiples. These needs to be very nicely done. Similarly, algebra has a good number of questions. Linear equations, quadratic equations, inequalities, exponents. These are all the topics for algebra. Arithmetic includes ratio, proportion, percentages, decimals, rate and work, speed, time, distance. These are all the topics and the subtopics for the arithmetic part. Statistics includes mean, median, mode, standard deviation, set theory, counting, permutation, combination, probability, estimation, sequence, and series. These are the topics and subtopics for statistics. I'll be clear, both of you, quick yes in the chat box so that I understand that you are getting and there are no questions. Are we clear at this point? Shall we move to the next one now?
Yes.
Is that you are getting the points. And if you have any question, you may. Now let's understand different type of the questions which are there on the data insight section. Right, this session is on data insight. Right, let's quickly understand what are the type of the questions are there. There are going to be 20 questions, and they are divided among few categories. One is known as data sufficiency, multi-source reasoning, two-part analysis, table analysis, as well as graphic interpretation. So these are the five type of the questions which are there under the DI section. Now here, data sufficiency out of 20, you can expect 6 to 8 questions here. Multi-source reasoning on an average 3 questions here. Similarly, table analysis, 4 questions, two-part analysis, 3, and graphic interpretation, 4 questions here. So on average, that's the distribution. We cannot be very sure. Why? Because it is going to be adaptive. And the next question depends on the accuracy of the current question. If it's correct, difficult. Otherwise, we'll be getting the easier ones again and again. Now let's understand the type of the questions one by one. Starting with multi-source reasoning. What is this type of the question? And what are the features of this particular type? Multi-source reasoning. Now, as the name suggests, multi-source, so you'll be getting the information in multiple tabs. Okay, so when you click on goals, you get the information related to goals. This is a screenshot. When you click on projections, you get the information related to projections. Similarly, budget, you get the information for budget, as well as these are the on the right hand side of the screen. These are the 3 parts of this particular question. Now there will be 2 or 3 parts on the right hand side every time. Now, to get the complete question correct, all the parts need to be correct. A part, B part, C part. It's not that if one part is incorrect, the complete question is incorrect. Okay? It goes for a toss. Right? So that means you need to be very, very careful about the correctness of each question or each subpart so that so that you get so that you get a good accuracy. So be very, very sure about each and every part. There is no partial marking anytime. Okay. If I get the one part correct out of 3, there is no partial marking. Be very clear which question set gives you the correct answer for all the subparts. And this is not true only for multi-source, it is completely true for all the type of the questions which are there on the data insight section. Now let's understand the second type, which is table analysis. Now here, what are the features here? You have a sort by option. So you can, this is an image. So when you click here, drop down menu appears and you can sort this table based on number of views, percentage change views, number of downloads, percentage change downloads from ascending to descending. Okay, ascending or descending, you can arrange these data points with respect to the question which you are trying to solve. Okay, if it says percentage change downloads, what are the top 5 percentage change downloads, then you can arrange this table with respect to percentage change downloads and find out which are the top 5 titles which are giving you the top 5 percentage change downloads which are positive. So this is how you can do a lot of type of the questions which come on the focus edition with respect to table analysis. Now here also again, all the 3 parts or 2 parts, whatever are there, that needs to be correct in order for the question. Next, third type of the question, that is third type, which is 2-part analysis. Here, the information is given. You need to understand the information, analyze it carefully, convert English to maths, and then solve these two parts. Okay. The radio buttons are given. So if you select this radio button, the other radio buttons gets these. Similarly, you need to get both the parts correct to get the question correct. Now, graphic interpretation, quickly review. So here you get a lot of graphs, charts, tables, line chart, pie chart, histograms. Right? So you need to be very, very careful with respect to what is the units which are given here on these type of the questions. Okay, a lot of time the question gives you the units, and then the answer or the options, the units are somewhat different. So be very, very careful. The feature here, these are the two parts. So when you drop here, pick here, drop down appears with two or three options. You need to select the best one out of the three or the four choices which are. Now, data sufficiency is the next type of the question, which is fifth type, that is data sufficiency. Let's try a question based on data sufficiency to understand this particular type of the question. What is the value of x? First statement, x minus 2 into x minus 3 is equal to 0. Second statement, x minus 3 into x minus 4 is equal to 0. Option A, statement 1 alone is sufficient but not statement 2. Option B, statement 2 alone is sufficient. Option C, they are together sufficient. Option D, they are alone sufficient. And option D, they are not sufficient to answer the question. In the poll, okay, into the options. In the poll form, okay, let's end here. Now try answering. Okay? The more you answer, the more you remember. There is no correct incorrect at this point of time. Okay. So I'm getting D as an answer. Now let's understand what will be the correct one. What is the value of x? From the first statement, can we say it will be x is either equal to 2 or 3? It's either 2 or 3. Now, can I definitely say if someone asks me what is the value of x? From statement 1, can I definitely answer what's the value of x? It could be 2, could be 3. That means there is no definite value for x from statement 1. That means first statement alone is not sufficient. X could be 2, x could be 3. Similarly, x is equal to 3 or 4. It could be 3, be 4. Now, what's the definite value for x? Can I answer? It could be 3, could be 4. Same reasoning, nothing can be concluded. Second statement alone is not sufficient to answer the question. Let's club them. If we club them, the information, can we say that x is equal to 2 only satisfies statement 1, but not 2? X is equal to 3 only satisfies statement 1 as well as 2. X is equal to 4 only satisfies statement 2 but not 1. Clubbing together, after clubbing, we are getting a definite value for x. What is the value of x? That is 3, which satisfies both the sentence, both the statements, and that's a definite value. That means we are getting an answer after clubbing. Option seems the truth.
So I have a doubt.
Yes, Kalaksh. Look.
So even I was thinking that the answer will be C, but I was a bit confused because all of these are in brackets, so we might need to multiply it and all of that. So I was confused that we'll get x square, then how will we take out the value of x square and all of that?
Hmm. Okay, so when you open, okay, you need not open when you are clubbing the information. Okay, when you are clubbing the information and you are getting a definite answer, that is it. You don't have to multiply. You have to find the values of x.
Right.
Okay,
So we'll just put x minus 2 is equal to 0, and obviously x will be equal
right.
to 2. So we'll do in that method.
Right, right. We don't need to, it's not saying that we need to multiply. We just need to be very, very sure about the values of x. And from that value, after clubbing, are we getting a definite value? If we are getting a definite value, that means that statement together or alone is sufficient here because.
Right. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, now let's understand the next one uh, with this strategy in place. Let's try this. This question. I think the goal for with a few is okay. Let's end here. Now we are getting a definite answer from both of you. That is getting that is option A, and that's the correct. That's the correct. Now, any approach which you have used, values or something around that.
Just one doubt here. So
Okay.
basically, if we do not solve for the mod,
Mhm.
then so basically x will definitely be positive, right? So
Okay.
that's how this answer came. However, if we solve for the mod, we understand that y can, if
Mm.
so basically if the positive value is constant for y,
Mm.
then both statements would be required.
Okay. No worries. Now let's understand uh, a key thing. Okay, and that's a good point to start with. Now let's understand uh, what does modulus. Now, if we have modulus, if we have let's say -5 modulus, that is also 5.
Mm,
Also, if we have 5 modulus, that is also. Now, what can be concluded from modulus? That means inside this modulus, it could be positive or it could be negative, but the value of this modulus is always positive.
Positive.
This we already now. Here it says that x modulus is greater than y modulus. Now, strategy to solve modulus type of the questions with inequality is visualize. Visualize the solution. Okay, visualize the solution. Now, what does this mean? Let's understand. X modulus is greater than y modulus. Now, what can be concluded? Can we conclude that x could be positive, x could be negative inside this modulus? Similarly, y could be positive, y could be negative inside the modulus. Now, x modulus greater than y modulus, can we visualize that x is far away from origin? X is far away from origin, y is closer to origin. X modulus is greater than y modulus, x is far away from origin. X could be positive, x could be negative, y could be positive, y could be. Now
mm,
let's try first statement. It says that x is positive. Now, if x is positive, say that if x is positive, y could be positive or y could be negative. X is positive, y could be positive or y could be negative. Now answer the question. Question is x greater than y? Yes. Is x greater than y? Yes. Y is negative, x is positive. Now, are we getting a definite yes or a definite no as an answer to the question? We are getting a definite yes as an answer to the question from statement 1. That means first statement alone is sufficient to answer. Second statement, y is positive. Now, if y is positive, x could be positive or x could be negative. That is what we have understood. X could be positive. Y is given as positive. X could be positive. X could be negative, far away from origin. Now answer the question. Is x greater than y? Yes. Is x greater than y? X is negative. Y is positive. Are we getting a definite yes or a definite no? Sometimes it's yes, sometimes it's no. That means there is nothing can be concluded about the answer to the question. That means second statement alone is.
Understood. Just one doubt here. Even though the second statement says that y is positive, and there's like no reasoning given for x, but isn't it a given that just because it is a modulus, it'll eventually be positive?
Right, that is true. But we are talking not of the modulus value, we are talking about the
Okay, understood. The
oh,
absolute.
yes. Without the absolute, that means without this x value could be positive, x could be negative. But we are given that x modulus is greater than y modulus, that means x is far away, be it a positive x or be it a negative, but it will be far away from origin as compared to
Understood.
therefore option.
So if the question would have been just reserve and we would reverse and we would have asked the modular value and not like the basic xy value. So then obviously we would need both the statements, right?
Yeah, and but just don't rephrase the question. Okay, there will be some assumptions which you are taking, so you need to consider. I would say that whenever you are doing authentic questions, don't reframe. Why? Because there might be few cases which you might have left out by rephrasing that question or making something out of it. So be very careful about saying something as a generic way. To conclude some things around that. Why? Because GMAT is quite tricky, and if left out one particular point, it gives the answer as an incorrect. So that is perfect for this case, but for a generic, do not approach GMAT like this.
Right, sir. Right.
Okay. Okay. Now
Thanks.
let's perfect. Good to see. Now let's understand a question type level. Let's understand this one. Let the poll go. Okay. It's this one. It's not okay. So fair enough. And we are getting here an answer of CND. Now let's understand what will be the correct one here. Option B is the correct. Option B. B is the correct. Okay, let's understand. Now we understood this point that it is going to be visualize. Okay, visualize the solution. Graphic interpretation. Whenever graphs are there, always try to understand the trend. Okay, what's the trend of that graph all about? Try understanding a lot about trend. A lot of options gets eliminated. Now it says that given chart shows the price breakdown, the number of marketers versus number of programmers at six similar sized companies in a particular internet market. All the six similar sized management teams are not in dispute. All non-management teams are there. So these are the non-management teams, which are marketing and programmers. And these are the six components, that is D, E, F, J, P, and T. At P, there are approximately how many more programmers than marketers? What can we say that? At P, the purple region is more than the green region. That is, programmers are more than visually seen programmers are more than the marketers. And we also can say that the question is approximately how much more is the purple region as compared to green region? Can we visualize like this? Now, this first block is actually equal to the second this block. They are both equal to each other. Similarly, the next block is actually equal to the next block. You just have to find out how much is purple more than the green region. These are equal blocks. These regions are equal. This half region is equal to half for the green and purple. That means, can we say that this region of purple is more than the green region? Other regions are actually equal. That means you can definitely say that how much is this? This is 10, 10, 20, somewhat more, 22. The answer that is. Okay, so visually seeing, you can find out the answer quite easily. We have not done any calculations, just visually seeing that few areas, few part of green and purple equal how much is purple more, and that was the question. Had we done this with the values, how much is this value? This is 35. How much is this value? That is purple region. Can we say this is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and somewhat more here, 5 here, 55 and 2. So 57. So how much is 57 more than 35? So our answer will be 57 minus 35, which is
So, like,
right.
so do we opt the method that you did first, or so the minus thing that you did
The
after?
first one, I would say you can save at least 20 seconds, 10, 20 seconds by visually seeing and at least eliminating few of the options as well along the way. When you try visualizing a lot of questions, you can visualize and solve without even doing any calculation, just by reasoning yourself.
Thank you.
Okay, let's try this one. The data remains the same. Question changed to this one. I'll open the poll. Okay, let's end here. We'll stop. Let's see. Getting D as an answer. Now let's understand. Now, which options can be eliminated? It says that at J, company J, where is J? This one. At J, approximately what percent of non-management employees are marketers? Now, what is the percentage of marketers that is required in the question? Now, marketers are green region. So can we say green is actually more than the purple region for the company J? That means it can't be percentage of marketers, the percentage of green, it can't be less than 50%. That will be greater than 50%. So A, B, C eliminate. Now, what will be the percentage of marketers? Can we say percentage of marketers, that is the green region? How many marketers are there? There are approximately 65 marketers, the green, that is 65. And how many total? Just greater than 90, so let's say 92. So out of total 92 percentage of marketers, how many marketers are there? There are 65. 65 upon 92 into 100% is the percentage of marketers for the company J. Now, what is option D? Now, at this point of time, you must be knowing that DI section, you can use the calculator, okay, which is the on-screen calculator, which has addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and square root. These all options can be used using the on-screen calculator, not the handheld ones, but the on-screen calculator you can use. But just see to it that using the calculator on screen takes a lot of time. Okay, so it takes a lot of time, and you might not be very comfortable by while using, why? Because you have to use the keyboard to type in the calculation which you require to solve. Now, the strategy here is to approximate. Approximate. Now, what can be said from this? Can we say that? What can be said from this? That 65 upon 92 is required. What is option D? That is 66%, which is 66 upon 100. Now, do we require 66 upon 100 or do we require 65 upon 92? The numerator is almost same, 65, 66. The numerator is same. The denominator for option D is 100. We actually require 92. That means it can't be option D. Why? Because option D gives the denominator as 100, which is very, very higher than 92. Okay, what is left? That is option E, which is 72%. That will be the answer. Now, at this point of time, had the options been 71.5, 72, 72.5, something around that, then use the calculator instead of approximation on those particular questions. But if the options are quite far away, then use the options to solve the question. You would save a lot of time. Try approximating your time, at least 10-20 seconds can be saved, and your accuracy increases a lot. Are we clear? Quick yes, no? Shall we move to the next one now?
Yes, this is clear.
Yeah. Next question. Okay, let's end here. Getting D as an answer. Now let's understand. Actually, it's E. Okay. E. Now let's understand this. What is the question? Before this question, what's the strategy? Create cases. Okay, so what was the first one? First is visualize the solution. Second, approximate. Try approximation as much as possible. Third, create cases. The more you can create cases, the more you'll be closer to the correct answer. If you leave out a case, a lot of time it changes your answers on the GMAT. So try finding out all the possibilities, what could be there, which satisfies the given information. Which is now let's understand. Question says, what is the median? Now, median for this session, let's understand. If there are three readings, the middle value, when arranged in ascending order, is the median. Similarly, if there are four readings, let's say there are four readings, the average of the two middle value is the median. Okay, that's the for the session, that is a median understanding. Median is the middle value. If three readings are there in the ascending order, this middle value. If four readings are there, average of the two middle values. Now, what's the median of four? Distinct. Distinct means all different. They have to be positive. They have to be odd. W, X, Y, and Z. Now, first statement gives that sum of four integers, W plus X plus Y plus Z, that is 16. Now, how can the sum be 16? They have to be, the integers have to be distinct. They have to be all different. They have to be positive. They have to be odd. The smallest odd, that is 1, 3, 5, 7. These are all different. They are four positive odd integers. What's the sum here? That is 1 plus 3, 4, 4 plus 5, 9, 9 plus 7, 16. So that means there is no other possibility to get the sum as 16 using four distinct odd integers. That means these are the integers, and we can easily find out the median using the information from statement 1. What about statement 2? It says that the product of three integers, W, X, Y, Z is 50. Now, out of four integers, the product of 3 is 50. Now, how is it possible? They have to be all different. They have to be odd. They have to be positive. Their product of 3 should be 15. That means this should have 1, 3, and 5 in it to get the product as 15. Now, what about the fourth integer? Do we know that? What is this fourth integer? We do not know. It could be any particular case. It could be 7, it could be 9, it could be 11, it could be 13, it could be any odd integer which is different from 135. Now, whatever that case may be, the middle two readings will still be 3 and 5, and median can be calculated. That means second statement alone is sufficient. D is the correct answer. So try creating the cases. That helps you a lot. Leaving out a possibility might give you the incorrect answer. Now let's understand the part which is your preparation, how you should be preparing. A quick yes, no, are we clear here till this point? Shall move to the next one now?
Yes.
Now, quickly, I'm pasting a link in the chat box, giving you just 1 minute to fill the form. And then we'll discuss the next. Okay. Now let's understand the next point. Now we have submitted, still remaining okay. So you can submit it. Now, what should be your plan, right? Preparation, how you should be preparing. Consider these as your steps. If you have amount of time, it's good. Otherwise, consider them to be your overall steps. So, our first step should be get yourself acquainted, give a diagnostic. A lot of time we know that what is the target 645, 695, 705, but how much gap is there? What's the current score? Target score already known. So try giving a diagnostic. Do not worry about the score. Okay? Whether both are good, whether con good, verbal not good, or verbal good, just give you would get an understanding of the current situation, and then based on that, preparing on a daily basis makes a lot of sense. How many questions on a daily basis, how many questions on a weekly basis, that helps you figure out that understanding. Second step, let's say my verbal comes out to be weaker area. So out of my weaker area, I would be investing 60% of my time on verbal, 40% on font, right? So that is how. Solve medium difficulty under time. So try to do under 2 minutes. Always do a timed practice. Don't just complete the questions. It should be in a timed manner. Difficult questions without time doesn't mean 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Why? Because you cannot use that approach on the main exam. So try a day doing 3 to 4 minutes on an average for the difficult type of the questions here at this point of time. Third, after doing a lot of practice here, you should be able to finalize your strategy. Medium difficulty number, harder difficulty should be done now within the time. That is, take on harder difficulty on an average 3 minutes. For easy, medium difficulty should be in that range of 1.5 minutes. So this is how you should be able to do every question in 2 minutes time frame on an average. Last, not the least, give mocks. Okay. A lot of time it happens that mock scores are stagnant. Okay. Whatever there was first mock, fifth mock, also the remains same. Why? Because similar mistake is there in the first and the fifth. It's going to be adaptive. The test is quite smart. It adapts to the test taker. It assesses your weaker areas. So whenever given the first mock, analyze it very nicely with your faculty and then only give the next mock to get the increment of the score. Otherwise, the score almost remains stuck. Now, what you'll be getting quick understanding, that is the live classes. You'll be getting the practice test, multi-level question, pre-class, in-class workshops, similar to the level of the questions of the GMAT. Strategy sessions to increase your score. You'll be added Telegram group. You can ask your doubts there. Now, for the session, I'll open the session. If you have any questions for your GMAT preparation, now you can unmute or type in the chat box any which ways.
Can you just let me know the timings and the duration for these classes?
Now, maybe you must have filled the form, right? A team member, so there are the options which are there. So according to your convenience, you can book the take the slot which is comfortable for you, and then you can take it forward as compared to me telling you that which options you can have a detailed discussion and then opt for.
Got it.
So, what would be the batch capacity per class?
Again, see that it's not too high. You'll need to actually you'll need to discuss this with your the person.
That I'm speaking to,
Sure.
right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Understand that's what it's whatever it's been communicated, that will be in that range only.
And sir, also I'm like planning to take the weekday classes as I've just not even graduated. I just got done with my end term. So
Okay.
like graduating in July, so I just plan on giving my GMAT by like in August and by
Okay.
August. So I don't think so that I'll be going for WorkX right now. I just want to give my GMAT first, and then
Okay.
after, if the
Hmm.
scores aren't it, then I think so I'll plan for WorkX after.
Yeah,
So
that means
that
your, I believe your strategy or your thought is that first let me, because you are in that frame mind set of studying, so you'll be studying at this point of time and probably giving in next couple of weeks or months from now, and then because that score is valid for 5 years, then you'll be having some work experience and then probably applying with that. Is that what you are saying?
so not really. I mean, if I get a good score, then I will be directly applying.
Directly applying.
Right.
That
I don't
is.
have a
Mhm.
plan for abroad as of now. I just want
Okay.
to like, look at my marks, and if I can good into like get into good universities in India itself, then all
Mhm.
right. And if not, then obviously I'll go for WorkX and I'll plan for Singapore. That
Perfect. So you have both the options
right.
according to
And
which.
I had a talk with one of your person as well that I can opt for MIM as well,
Right,
not
right.
M.
Yes, MIM is a good option where you have don't have to have that much of work experience. The freshers can apply from 0 to 2 years, so that also can be understood that which option suits you best according to the university you are targeting, which sports you are targeting, and then you can take that forward.
Right. So okay.
Perfect. I believe if no other questions, we'll stop the session here. Bye, both of you.
So
Take care
just
and have.
last question.
Yes.
So if I opt for the weekday classes, what would be the timings? Like
Again,
how
see,
long would one class be?
you need to discuss with your the counselor. They'll be calling you, can discuss in detail. Generally, it is there the number of days, how many days in a week, what will be the duration of each class, right? So discuss that as compared to getting this information. Have a detailed discussion about the course, right? And then take the decision forward based on your convenience.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay. Bye. Bye. You take care and have a good day.
Right, sir. Thank you.